Hello and welcome. I'm Robin Joy and I'm delighted to be speaking with you in what is now the third of my 6-part email series designed to further assist you in achieving and maintaining your ideal weight forever by enlightening you with information about my philosophies and concepts, inspiring you with stories from my own ultimately successful weight management experience, and empowering you with easy to implement highly effective strategies that will make achieving and maintaining your ideal weight easy, effective, and fun. So thanks for tuning in. So before I launch into today's new topic, I'm going to just take a minute to review the key points that I've raised so far. And so far, I've introduced you to an incredible concept called the life experience cycle. And I've gone on to expose that it's the beliefs we hold that drive the thoughts that we think, and in turn, the thoughts we think that stimulate the emotions we feel. I've explained that both the thoughts we think and the emotions that we feel can be conscious or subconscious. And so by conscious, I mean that they are deliberate, they're intentional, they are controlled, and they are responsive. And by subconscious, I mean automatic or habitual or uncontrolled or reactive. I've also gone on to explain that both our conscious and subconscious thoughts and emotions can be negative or positive. In fact, all of our thoughts and emotions sit along an emotional energy spectrum, which runs from fear, so most negative, through to joy, so most positive. And I'll talk a lot more about that later on. And so the third stage of the life experience cycle is that whilst our beliefs drive our thoughts and our thoughts stimulate our emotions determine the circumstances we attract. I know, right? I'm out there. But I'm very detailed and very logical in both my understanding and my explanation. So just relax. You see, all of our thoughts and emotions are forms of energy. And so whilst we can't physically perceive them, we can't smell them, we can't see them, we can't touch them or taste them or hear them, but we can energetically experience them. We all know the difference between thinking sad and feeling sad and therefore being sad, and thinking happy and feeling happy and therefore being happy. Okay, they're both very, very different states. And so the thoughts we think and the emotions that we feel combine, and we project those out into the universe, and they connect with aligned forms of energy and attract those back to us. And exactly how that works is that it is the topic of our thoughts and it is the energy of our emotions or the frequency of our feelings that determine the circumstances that we attract back to us. So for example, if there is someone who thinks to themselves, I love being young, I love being fit and healthy, I love being active and feeling really vibrant and energized, versus someone who thinks, I don't want to get old, I don't want to be frail, I don't want to lose my independence. So both of those examples are of people that are wanting to stay young and not wanting to get old. But one person is thinking and feeling in alignment with being young, and the other person is thinking and feeling in alignment with the fear of getting old. So the joy of staying young versus the fear of getting old. So it's like a similar genre, but with very, very different sentiment, which means they're going to attract very, very different circumstances. And so what exactly do I mean by circumstances? Well, circumstances are anything and everything to do with you and your life that you are aware of, that you are conscious of. And so circumstances can be physical objects, they can be buildings, and they can be other people, and they can be books and products and cars and transport. But they can also be energy or concepts. So they can be ideas, it can be motivation, it can be information. Okay, so basically anything that comes into your awareness is the circumstances within which you exist. And the energy we project out into the universe determines what those circumstances are for each and every one of us. And so this concept is best known as the law of attraction. Law of attraction is just a naturally occurring universal law, just like gravity. And the best thing about the law of attraction is that it is powered by the most valuable but also unlimited resource that there is, and that is individual, authentic joy. The alternative school of thought is to believe that everything is random and that your life is playing out completely by chance. But you've already had too many experiences to know that that's not true, right? And trust me, I understand that at the moment you're probably sitting somewhere between complete skeptic and total believer. So my commitment to you is that if you stick with me through videos 4, 5, and 6, I will help you prove to yourself that the life experience cycle is true and that you can get it to work so that life circumstances always benefit you. And so my story so far is that I caught myself every morning for a few mornings in a row thinking, oh my God, I'm getting so fat. If I don't do something, soon there will be no going back. And I caught myself having these negative thoughts and I knew that I needed to change them. Now, I knew a lot about the law of attraction and I had been using it successfully for 20 years to help me build and enjoy an incredible career. And so I knew that having negative thoughts about my weight was really destructive. But that was pretty much all I knew. And that's when I committed to changing my mindset from, oh my God, I'm getting so fat, to, hey girl, you are looking good. So I started to do that first of all. And then, of course, I knew about the importance of emotion, so I started adding in the feelings, and I had to really work to conjure those. Now, with my career, I want you to understand I automatically, consistently had positive thoughts about my ability to grow my career and to do well in my business and in my job, but not with my weight. So this was the significant difference that made the change for me. So I started to intentionally think the thoughts, hey girl, you're looking good, and to feel confident and proud about the body that I knew I was going to be developing. And not just my weight, but my body. So my body's weight, size, condition, and shape. And then I started to expand that. So every time I caught myself having some sort of negative or destructive thought about my weight, so that could be my physical appearance, it could be my weight itself, it could be my diet and food intake, it could be my activity and exercise, that I would stop that negative thought and I would intentionally convert it into something positive, something constructive, something that aligned with what I wanted to be true, and that I would feel the positive emotions that aligned with that too. And so from my own personal experience, when I started doing this, actively monitoring and swapping out negative thoughts for positive, I was really surprised by just how many negative thoughts I had, but not so much about their content, because I'd caught myself from time to time thinking, oh, I eat too much, or I can't be bothered exercising. So I knew I was having some detrimental, some unaligned thoughts, but I didn't realize just how many there were. Okay, but sure enough, within a few weeks of starting my process of swapping out my negative thoughts for positive and feeling the emotions, I started to notice that my circumstances were changing for the better. Now, there's way too many examples to list them all for you now, but two key examples of my circumstances changing that really stand out for me are in regards to first my appetite and then my exercise. So let me explain that I used to catch myself thinking, oh, I eat too much late at night, and I'd eat my dinner around 6:30, 7 o'clock, but I'd always be still eating around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'd have a snack. Sometimes it was a second dinner. And so I would catch myself thinking, I eat too much too late at night. And so I changed that thought to, I feel really satisfied after my evening dinner or after my evening meal. And I would say that to myself after I'd finished eating. I'd say it over and over again. I always feel satisfied after my dinner. I always feel satisfied. I never feel hungry. I never feel like snacking. And so again, it wasn't just a thought. It was a whole story, right? There were details there. I never feel like snacking. I always feel really satisfied. I feel full and really content. I have a much smaller appetite. So it was this whole story that I was telling myself and feeling, the emotions went from feeling quite ashamed and guilty about eating too much, and I moved those to feeling confident and proud of myself in my discipline, etc. And then what happened was that, first of all, my appetite really did subside, and I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised by that. But the second thing was that I came across an article about fasting. So that was something that was a circumstance that presented to me, that I read this story about fasting. Okay, and then the second thing is in regards to my exercise. So when I first started doing this, oh my gosh, I look so fat, converting that into, hey girl, you're looking really good. I also was thinking, oh, I can't be bothered exercising. Oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to go for a walk. So there was this real, again, dialogue. It wasn't just a single thought. There was this whole story about how hard I was working and I deserved to sleep in and, all that type of thing. So anyway, what I did was I converted that, not to I love running or I love going to the gym or whatever, just I love exercising every day, doing exercise I love. So that was it. I love exercising every day, doing exercise I love. So I wasn't specific about what it was, just that I was enjoying it. Now, the first thing I noticed is that I started to feel really, really motivated. So I'd get up in the morning and I'd almost be, super keen and enthusiastic to go for a walk or to jump on my power plate. And then eventually I started going to yoga. And finally my walking turned into walk jogging, and then my jogging turned into running. And before I knew it, I was running in excess of 5Ks, not every day, but quite a few times a week. And so the change in motivation was something that I'd never had before, because with my career, which is where I'd predominantly used the law of attraction, I automatically felt motivated and driven and passionate. But with my weight and my body, I did not. So I noticed that change and I was really, really pleased about it. And so in next week's strategy, I'm going to explain why the one difference I made to my weight loss strategy. So this is, after years and years and years of starting diet and exercise programs and always stopping them eventually, why this time I was successful, why the one change I made to my routine in the morning made all the difference as far as my weight loss attempt being very, very successful, not just at losing the weight, but now having maintained the weight loss for 2 years. Okay, so you've probably noticing the pattern that takes place. I tell you what I did and then you do the same thing. So I want you to keep doing the visualizing and keep doing the swapping and feeling the emotion, but I want you to start to notice what it is you notice, and in particular in regards to your weight and the thoughts that you're thinking. So maybe you start thinking that you'd like to eat something a bit healthier for lunch, and then you notice that there's a new cafe on the corner and they're really health focused, or maybe you have a new colleague at work and they like going for walks at lunchtime, or whatever it is. Okay, so just start to notice the circumstances. Sometimes they will be really bold and impactful, and other times they will be very, very subtle, but start to notice the change in circumstances that you notice. And I want you to then go one step further, which is document it down and then take a moment to feel the joy, the delight, marvel in what is happening. So that's it for week 3. We are now officially halfway through the series, so that makes this the ideal time to explain to you that I run 9-week coaching programs for private individuals, for pairs, and for small group workshops. So if you're interested in doing a 9-week program that will see you fully understand and achieve exactly what it is you want for yourself as far as your weight is concerned, as far as yourself is concerned, and as far as your life is concerned, then please feel free to get in contact with me using the link below. I have private and pairs availability right now, but the small group workshops are all full for 2019, but I'm currently taking bookings for Q1 of 2020. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's highly affordable and I would love to speak to you about it. Okay, so until next week, I hope you glow with confidence, pride, vitality, and joy. Thanks for tuning in, and once again, well done.